All right. So by now we have at least understanding what led to the situation, what happened to you, and then how in the end, came up to Sadhguru, even though you didn't have any plan and you were just kind of surfing on the internet, specifically on YouTube, you came to know. So what exactly happened afterwards, if you could, you know, break it down for us and how the process was and what exactly step you took. There could be, I'm sure there could be some preconceived notion and so-called some skepticism, because which is skepticism is healthy, by the way. So how you fought with those things, because those are, initial thoughts. Those are, I think, really important ones.
Skeptical with you're saying the inner engineering process with Sadhguru, or skeptical with
About
from
everything, about everything. This so-called yoga, so-called yogic process, because you have been into a traditional treatment, by the way. So it was working on medication, but not up to the mark. So what was the process? What was the thought process you were going through meanwhile?
yeah. So what was work? So initially, when this happened, mainstream, like I said last time, the mainstream doctors, the mainstream approach, they told me that this was something, being my condition was something that I had to deal with for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So popping pills, or I'd have some kind of symptoms, and it was just like they were putting me in a frame where this is something I have to manage. So I didn't like that. I didn't think that was the truth. I just felt like innately that couldn't be the truth, because then I started investigating. I wasn't born this way. I didn't have these symptoms when I was younger. So that approach didn't make sense. That's why I became very skeptical about the mainstream pharmacy. Of course, like it helped. It helped in the sense that it was helping me sleep, and that was it. It was helping me sleep. It was maybe numbing me out to the symptoms, but I felt for the a majority of my time on medication, I just felt like a zombie. Like I was just walking around, really just not
Yeah,
as conscious.
without any purpose, right? Just popping pills
Correct.
and yeah,
Without any purpose.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
popping pills, getting to bed. I was sleeping maybe 12, 14 hours a day, just like it was nuts, man.
holy shit.
And yeah, from there, it was helping me get some stability. At least I wasn't having the symptoms like just mania, just having excessive racing thoughts. I was actually able to sleep with the medication. So there were some things that were definitely addressed with
Yeah,
the
was
medication.
it 14 hours you said? I mean 14 hours? I mean 60% of your time, bro. I mean in a
Yeah,
day.
so
Yeah.
initially I was sleeping that much just because, like I said, I didn't sleep for 1 month straight. I
Hmm.
didn't have even a minute of sleep for the 1 month when I had these episodes.
This is crazy, bro. If you imagine from now, 14
Mm.
hours. I mean, this is really crazy. Bizarre
Yeah,
stuff.
so it helped me in that time just build some stability, and then I started to look at alternative ways, and I met a naturopath, and he put me on some vitamins, which did help temporarily. It gave me some relief, and I
Hmm.
felt a little bit energized. So I was working side by side with the medication, and around the same time I was on Sadhguru on YouTube, and for me there was not any doubt, because I felt like for me I was looking for something. And I think the doubt comes from Indians when they're watching a lot of the media, and how the media paints like some of these gurus, or
Right,
these
right, right.
babis
Hmm.
followers, they in a negative way. So I didn't have that conditioning or that thought about Sadhguru, because I just felt like when I heard him speak, there was just such authenticity and truth coming from his mouth and his presence. So I felt like for me, especially being in a place where I was so sick and tired of looking for different ways that weren't working, and I felt like he was speaking to me, and he was speaking a lot about you can rewire your brain, you can create a different brain pretty much from the inside out. And
You're
for
right.
me, that was really fascinating, because he was the only person speaking in that way. Pharmacy, doctors, everyone was speaking with such a limited perspective about healing, and it was just like suppressing
Hmm.
the symptoms, give you pills, and you take one pill, and that pill gives you a side effect for something else, then you get a pill for that side effect, and then that side effect gives you a side effect for something else, and before you know it, you have like a bucket full of prescription pills that you're popping.
Yeah.
And at one point I felt like I might have gone down that approach, but we took the right steps at the right time, where I got some support from a naturopath, and That's when Sadhguru came, and in 2019, from there, like 2017 was when I found Sadhguru, and that was
Okay.
when I was on and off doing the practice, and then things really took off in 2019 after I visited the Isha Yoga Center. I came back, and just prior to COVID, I was spending a lot of time at home, forced to spend time at home.
Okay.
And during the time where he was doing like I don't know, it was like 90 days or 40 days or something darshan every single day with Sadhguru during COVID.
Yes, yes, COVID time, right?
Yeah, so that was the time when I was doing the sadhana twice a day, and that was when things really took off, and I felt like, okay, I got something significant has happened to me, and I'm going to continue to build in this direction.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you touched a lot of things. You said the traditional treatment, and then, yeah, skepticism. Yeah, this is true. In India, I mean, there are many gurus, and like I said in the past also, Sadhguru, I think he has also mentioned in his book, he said it's like the way they have portrayed the spirituality and the yoga, specifically to the world, especially in the West. It is just basically, I mean, they pretty much destroyed the authenticity of the yoga and the authority. For him, it was, you probably heard about Osho, the Rajneesh. I think the episode happened in back in the days, I guess, in 60s, early 60s and 70s. And then, I mean, the whole episode. There is a series on Netflix if you want. You can, it's called Wild. I forget the name. It's
Wild
called.
Wild West.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. So you see,
I think just to speak on Osho too, I don't think Osho was what the media had portrayed him. I think
exactly,
there was a lot
exactly,
of depth. There's like if I just
exactly.
observe. Mhm.
So that's what I'm saying. Media, what is bringing in front of us, and we being a end user, we just whatever they're feeding us, we are just feeding them, and we are making our own judgment. Or it's again, so to fight that in the initial stage, like you said, for you it was really easy. But I feel a lot of the time when in the West for people also, because this kind of incident have already happened, so for them also it's really quite a tough when they listen the guru and everything yoga, so they feel like it's something is sketchy fishy is coming from India, right? So I get it, because in the past there are people those who they pretty much ruined the authenticity. There could be several reasons, right? So there could be several reasons. Anyways, that is really fascinating that when you, because you found him in 2017, and for you it took 2 years to get committed. So
Right.
what was the changing? I mean, what was the if I have to ask, what was the turning point within these 2 years? Because it took 2 years, and I know
Mhm.
I will answer you why I asked this, because something happened with me as well. So I want to hear your experience. What it took for 2 years to get committed, that you thought, okay, this is the time, man. I have to go all in.
I think it just like I was already suffering, and I think I came to a place where I remember it was October 1st, 2019 was a day where I felt like enough is fucking enough. Like I just had that thought. It was so strong. I still remember that day because the emotion that was tied to that thought was really strong. And
Hmm.
prior to those 2 years after doing the inner engineering and then just kind of dabbling with it, doing a little bit of Om chanting here, a little bit of Isha Kriya here and there, but nothing committed because I think it had nothing to do with the practice. I think it just had to do with how I was showing up and living my life. It had to do with that same lack of commitment was in so many other areas of my life as well. And I just came to a place where the hunger was building. It felt like it felt like what Sadhguru was saying was making sense,
Hmm.
but I still wanted to avoid reality some more time. I just felt like it didn't really hit me that strong, but it
I
was
mean,
building up.
it's good for listening, for not strong enough to getting
Yeah,
thinking inside it, right?
getting entertained. Yeah, yeah, getting entertained,
Yeah.
and I noticed that that's so significant because it just comes down to how like how you done suffering. For me, that's what it is. I see most people have to suffer to come to a place of looking for something different, and for me, it was a point where enough and I remember going to Triple Isha Institute in the States,
Mm-hmm.
and they were teaching us how to share these tools and these methods with people in an appropriate way.
Mm-hmm.
And before this, I was always like really, really aggressive with trying to share Sadhguru, and like trying to just shove it down people's throat, and do inner engineering, and getting really upset when they weren't receptive. And I remember them saying, reflect back on your life and think about how long it took you to
Mm.
actually step. For me, it took me 2 years until I made that commitment. Sure, I was watching the videos. The commitment piece wasn't there for 2 years. So even now when I share these tools, there's much more understanding with giving this, because somebody sees them one time, maybe it doesn't click. Maybe because they've seen a picture, they've seen inner engineering somewhere. Maybe down the line, they see a video on YouTube, or they come to a place where they want to do some healing. They get to a place where something happens. Then the time will come. Everyone has their own time to be receptive to this, and I think that's something that I learned from the Isha Institute, when they were telling us to be reflect on our own journeys.
Yeah, this is so profounding because because the reason I ask, I've been also watching him from 2016 when I was the last year of my engineering in the university, and then yeah, since then you were young blood. Like the guy is there, he's talking, everything's making sense logically, but you just it's just for like it's a passing thought, and the life goes on, and then things were going on 2019 when I was in Toronto, Canada. So I thought, okay, this might be something. And in 2020, COVID hit. So for me, there was a blessing in disguise because the entire world was, I know, unfortunate things were going on, but I had nothing to do. Sitting home, I started reading a lot of books, and then coincidentally, the inner engineering came to me because the physical book I ordered, by the way, from Amazon, I guess. I said, okay, because from real estate, business, by the time I already started running my convenience store, Scarborough. So I was kind of getting, okay, once you settle down, I was also running my e-commerce business in state and Mexico. So I thought, okay, less, more. Okay, I know the stocks. Now I know a little bit of entrepreneurship and everything. What else? What else? Then I've been following him ever since, like I said, from 2016. Not like you said, nothing significant, not being committed. And then the book I read, Inner Engineering, and that book really hit me. There's many things, incident he mentioned, and the many, those initial kriyas. And then I thought, man, this is something probably we should. Um, I should take out some time, dedicated time, and then I did inner engineering in, I think, in 2021. That even took me for, again 6 8 months. Then I did online thing. Online they started launched. I did that. So yeah, so there was really a game changing moment for me because what you were coming from, I exactly understand because it takes a lot because the preconceived notion we have, right, from the society or the past experiences we have in the life, and to overcome that, it's not so easy, right? This is something non-physical, and you are not verbally saying, you are fighting your mind back, back and forth. Okay, so every single time you're coming ahead to get committed, something come, and then you get, okay man, let's postpone this, we'll do it. So yeah, such things, fighting your mind. So yeah, I mean, the question for me is, uh, why you think such kind of, I would say this is an unfortunate situation, what happened to you, and what is
I
right
think
now.
it's very. I
Yeah,
think it's a
yeah,
very.
yeah. This is of course, this is right now. Yes, we can say, we can 100%. This is a blessing in disguise, I would say. Yeah, this is. But like the essentially, like I want to ask why such kind of situations are happening in people's life, wherever they are. They're in the wherever, which part of the world they're in. What basically led to such kind of situations, and then people had to go through so much suffering. I know right now we are talking, but the physical suffering you had, mental suffering, I can't even imagine. but with the grace of God, you are doing well. I'm so happy, and that's why we are here, and we are sharing the experience, and I'm so grateful to be here. But I want to know what exactly led to those situation for them, those unfortunate beings. Oh, you got a
I think
puppy.
I think it just has to do with. Oh, puppy, yeah, he's here. Yeah, hello, buddy. Checking.
Hey, what's up? Oh yeah, he's also alert. Inner engineering is working for him as well.
Of course, he's catching the waves too, man.
Oh yeah.
But no, I think definitely, I think it has to do with your upbringing, trauma, and I think it's a matter of, are you willing to make that commitment, right? I think everyone has different experiences that lead them to a certain place. I can't comment on everyone because I'm sure even people who got diagnosed with my specific, or not my specific, but the ailment that was given to me at a period in time of my life, I'm sure that everyone has different experiences that create that kind of, you can say, disorder for the time being, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that, I mean, I'm personally just going to speak from my experience. I don't want to comment on something I'm not aware of. But for me, it was a lot to do with my upbringing, the environment I was subjected to in my teen years, in my younger years. And I'll share something else. I seen a video yesterday of a UFC fighter. His name's Sean Strickland,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a UFC champion now, or he
Yeah.
was a UFC, and he just lost the belt.
Okay.
But he had a video with somebody on a podcast, and he was sharing his experience of what he went through in his childhood, abuse. His dad was an alcoholic. His dad used to beat his wife, and he used to try and protect his mom. And he used to be up until 3 a.m. because his dad was drinking all day and just creating chaos in the house. And I was able to really relate with that story, and it moved me to tears as well, because what I noticed in that moment is this guy, he went through all that, and he used that experience to harden himself. He became a fighter. He said fighting was the only way that I felt more. I felt that was the only reason I wanted to live, because
Yeah.
fighting was my his thing, right? And he used that to propel himself to become a UFC champion. And although he's this, like, he portrays himself as this really tough guy, he's a champion, he fights in the UFC, and he has this persona. But what I came to see in that moment, when he was breaking down into tears in the interview, was there's still a wounded little boy inside of this guy. He's still traumatized inside, and because he hasn't addressed that, he's found different ways to cope with that on the outside, like becoming a champion in a sport, in a fighting sport, right? Which is not bad. Like, there's nothing wrong with fighting. It's great. It requires a certain amount of courage, and like, it's a
Yeah.
skill.
Skill. Yeah.
But but if you're doing it to avoid, what's happening inside, or make up for what you haven't dealt with on the inside, then it doesn't really matter. So I mean, everyone has different ways to cope. A lot of people are able to, yeah, man, just everyone is different, and their way to deal with stuff is different.
Yeah, situation is different. So I think there are primarily, I think if we look into the situation, I think it's majorly somewhere society is playing a vital role. And then, like you said, family. I think majority of the people they will agree also. Family conditions, our societies, the way we have built up our societies, no matter where you live, and then sometimes religion also come into this, sometimes government. I mean, every society has everything. These are the elements in the bigger picture. So yeah, of course, like we cannot fight those things, right? Individual level. I mean, we don't choose our family, right? So and
Or maybe
then
we do. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, biologically we don't.
Right,
Afterwards,
right.
afterwards we can, we can pick it up what is good for us, what is not. But
Hmm.
how do we bypass this? If I have to ask this question, how do we bypass? Like this is a good point. You said probably we do. We can if we are somebody in such kind of state or somebody is getting into it. So like I was mentioning about the subscriber, she said, and she came, and I think probably she's also somewhere in the similar shoes you are in, because her emotions I can see by the way, like reading out the text. So is how, like somebody's like there, how they can bypass this. If somebody's already there, I'm not asking what led to the situation is fine, but how, what is next, what is next.
Right. So you don't mean bypass, you mean addressing it head
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
How do you address it? Okay.
exactly, exactly.
I think for me, it's been inner engineering has been the foundation. And then I've been consistently without fail eating two meals. Like I do an intermittent fast morning and then I eat at evening time. I've been doing this since 2019 for 5 years. I've been doing that without fail.
Wow, 8 hours
So I think,
gap, 8 hours or
yeah,
six
8 hour
hours?
gap, 8 hour.
Okay.
And along with that, I've been doing balancing sadhana as well. I'm chanting Sukha Kriya.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing Hatha Yoga, Surya Kriya now. I've recently learned the Shakti Chalana Kriya, so I've been doing that as well.
Wow, awesome.
These things have been what have been really helping me.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I've been receiving coaching on and off. On and off for the past, I would say, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fortunate to have a lot of people in my life who are doing their own inner work, and as a result, maybe they're a few steps ahead of me because
Mm-hmm.
maybe they started before or whatever the case. I just have people in my life who are also able to support me on an ongoing basis with, guidance, support, understanding, presence, and that's
Right.
been really helpful. Coaching and sadhana have been the main two things that have really helped me chip away.
Okay, along with your day-to-day 9 to 5, whatever you're doing, and these are the two things you are using them as a tool.
Yeah,
Right. So yes, I mean, it takes maybe only just a matter of commitment because most of the times things get away while in our life, right? So sometimes we try to find some excuses. Sometimes maybe doing the things. Sometimes you're taking break, and then how do you see that? Because somebody's like you, those who already saw the pain and they felt it, for them I think there is no option, right? I mean, excuse is not even an option. I mean, you have to show up every single day no matter what, right? Every single day.
right. Again, that's the ideal. I mean, if you do want to transform, if you want to find a solution for your problem, so it depends. It depends on how willing you are to create a change. And one thing I'll personally say is this is probably the hardest thing that I've done in
Mm-hmm.
my life. It's not like getting a job. It's not like earning money. This is something different because like it requires a constant observation of yourself and what you're doing, observing your patterns, observing, understanding maybe certain childhood stuff, and
Right.
being comfortable with somebody else. Just different things that it requires, and I think, yeah, I think definitely you would. I personally would recommend if someone's just like really going through that right now,
Mm-hmm.
is go to a doctor. I know I've said this stuff about mainstream pharmacy, but it helped me initially, and it has a certain role. Like if you're going through something extreme, then definitely don't rule out pharmacy. It does help in that way, but it's not going to be a solution. A solution is something that you have to take steps every day to create. You have to create a different version of yourself.
Right. Right. Yeah. So the going to the traditional medical treatment is going to give you a quick fix, and once you are there, then slowly you can think about yourself, what else,
Correct.
right? What are the other things? These are temporary solution anyway. What is the
Mhm.
permanent solution I can look into?
Right.
There are ways you can do it, and there many people have done it. I think Harvard Medical School, they have a department on Sadhguru now, and they're also doing some research work going on based on inner engineering participants and other Isha Kriyas. I'm sorry, other Isha, yes, Kriyas, I mean. So, in the end, like, I would like to know about how, based on your understanding, the person, I'm asking you this question because you are living in the West and you have lived your entire life in the West. So, how a person who is growing in the West and getting into adulthood from adolescence, and then how they can approach a life. I mean, if you would like to give a a piece of advice from you, the 2 cents you have, like what would be the best advice here? Somebody's listening to you.
I think for me, it just you have to really assess who you spend time with. I think that's such a big, important piece.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have the right environment, even if you have to spend a period of time where you're by yourself for a few
Mm-hmm.
months,
Mm-hmm.
6 months, where you just are not under the influence of other people. Because I know for myself, in one way, having this diagnosis at 19 and being put on medication at that age
Mm-hmm.
was really supportive because prior to this, I was out smoking and drinking all the time.
Okay.
And so for me, now that I'm on medication, I was advised not to be drinking or smoking. So I had to make a choice because I knew it was going to make it worse. So I had to start saying no. I had to start saying no to, nights out with my friends. And during that time alone was that was the opportunity that was created because I was spending a lot of time alone. It gave me
Mm-hmm.
time to reflect, gave me time to look for different ways. And ultimately, that's been something very crucial. Even now that I'm on the other side, I still know the value of actually being by myself. It's like nothing else, man. I think a lot of growth can happen if you make that commitment. And initially, it's gonna be hard because sometimes there's some emotional ties with certain people. You like how they make you feel. There's a certain investment you've made, and it's difficult to start saying no because then you almost have to like it creates an unfamiliarity pretty much, right? And
Right.
so
Absolutely.
for me, that was helpful, and I think in the West, alcohol and drugs are a very big thing amongst youth.
Right. Right.
So you almost have to be a weirdo. You have to be okay being a weirdo for some time.
Oh yeah.
And so and even now, like I realize after now that I've been on this path, it's like really it's really not it doesn't it's I'm not able to connect with those same people at all. Like there's no resonance,
Mm-hmm.
there's no I felt like I was only in relationship with them because we used to drink and we used to smoke. And yeah, I mean, I've created much different relationships in my life now. I have a lot of different people who give me different value. Like I have nothing against my old friends, but I just find that for my journey and the life that I want to create,
Mm-hmm.
it's necessary for me to have certain types of people in my life that only elevate me and we grow together. The conversations are way different when you're on this path.
So yeah, I think it's just a matter of making the right choices. I mean, what exactly really, really, truly matters for you, and it's not just to getting any, approvals from somebody else, or rather, I would say, asking the same question to ourselves, right? To ourselves that what exactly matters for me, not about him or my friends and family. I like to appease them, rather
Right.
looking turning towards what exactly matters for me. Should I do this right now or not? What if I do this approach? Where is leading me? And am I getting into something which is probably is going to put me into trouble? Because initial days, these are the shiny object syndromes, right? We feel really good about it, young youth, and if you're living in a free society, you get pretty much access to everything. You are free to get into prostitute, you're free to get into drugs, alcohol, weapons, everything, guns, and everything is available, right? I mean, society these three things, they can save the society and they can break the society, right? Is there. I mean, I'm not getting into politics. So, again, it's for us on individual level, we need to take the call for ourselves. What is going to be beneficial for me, my family, my loved ones? And then I think we should be taking the call. Yeah, so that was really interesting. I would like to know about if you can share. I think you have almost covered everything, but I would like to know about brief your brief day-to-day life, if you can address, so that somebody, let's say I have friends in the West and they are listening to you, they can relate to this. Okay, if this guy can make it and he's living in the West without finding any excuses, then I think things are possible. We can also give it a shot.
Yeah, so my day to day is, I start my mornings with sadhana every day,
Mm-hmm.
about 2.5 to 3 hours of sadhana. And
Mm-hmm.
then from there, I have my food and then work. I do door to door. So that's usually, afternoon time
Okay.
for about 6 to 8 hours, door to door sales, and then come back,
Mm-hmm.
have dinner, maybe have a conversation with a friend. That's usually about it. Main thing is sadhana and work. That's the main things I'm focused on right now, and that's what takes up most of my day.
All right, awesome. Work and committed with the sadhana, evening and morning sadhana. And then, so I see, like, one thing I would like to know how your family now they're looking towards you. What is their view? I mean, if you want to just put yourself into their shoes and analyzing about you, like how do you say about it from 2019
Yeah,
since you started?
yeah, I think it's different, very different. I notice because my mom's also on the spiritual path, so she's
Hmm.
also
Okay.
doing the sadhana. She's also Isha meditator as well. So she's
Wow.
doing her own inner work. So we've created quite an ambience in our house where we, Isha is very important to us. At the same time, we do have, of course, challenges where there's disagreements. I find that, you know, I'm, I notice my intention has been to create a different context for the relationship where we speak to each other differently. I'm still looking to create that. It's still in the process, but we have individual people in my family, me and my mom specifically, who are doing our own inner work.
Hmm.
And I do feel like it's making an impact on the energy of the house, how we connect with people, how we connect with each other. It's very different. And it'll continue to be different as well.
Wow, that's really profounding because we have a small cocoon in your family, and it really helps, I assume. And
Yeah,
it does because when you, I think environment plays, a lot of role into it because your body become more receptive, your mind, everything. I think you less likely you will be, finding any excuses to not to keeping up with your practices because you are living in such an ambience. You will become more receptive. Okay, let's do it. You will not even having a second thought. I think that is really really important because I.
support each other. Me and my mom,
Mhm,
we call out each other's limitations. We are very supportive most of the time towards,
mhm.
getting the sadhana done, checking in, and just sharing different insights we've had. So very much we built a relationship around our process
Mhm.
and just our growth. So yeah, definitely, man. We definitely support each other and we share wins, we share insights, and we challenge each other often as well.
I'm sure she's probably more happier than you. She's being able to see you in that phase. I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's
Harder for family, for
yeah, it is. I
because
think. Hmm. Yeah, continue, please.
my mom was somebody who when I first got diagnosed, she was the one that was the most concerned, and she was the one trying to, he was the one speaking to different people, trying to find out different ways. How can you get better? Because she also wasn't really excited about putting me on medication. She knew that wasn't the best way. And so me and my mom were it just feels like we went through a journey together, man. She's been there to support me throughout and
Hmm.
she's been the one who's been probably impacted by it the most because she was the one who was taking care of me when I was younger and doing what she could do in her like through her understanding what she could do, she did her best. And definitely think it's been all worth it. And even one other thing I'll share is
Hmm.
when this was the peak of me going through that experience, she actually went to a fortune teller somewhere in 2014, 2015. This was like way back. She went during when I first got diagnosed, and
Right.
she went because she was trying all these other ways and nothing would seem to be working. So she went to this fortune teller because she thought maybe she can find something out. And the guy said, at the time we didn't believe him because I was in such a horrible place. He's like, oh, he's gonna be 100% fine. He's like, send him to India,
Hmm.
and he didn't say the context, but he just said he said send him to the Himalayas or something. And he's
Ah.
like, get him coaching, and
Hmm.
like it seemed like he whatever. Like I don't know the science behind fortune telling, but I think there definitely is something. And he said before we were about to leave, because I wanted to come see him as well. I seen him read my hand as well, and he's like, "Oh, send him to shitty Ravi Shankar, this other
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
guru.
Yeah, in
He's wrote
Bangalore.
Art of Living.
Yeah.
He's seen something. He's like, send him there, and like from there, things are gonna be all right." So for me now, like in hindsight, looking back, it felt like what he had seen was,
Hmm.
Sadhguru is gonna be able to. this guy,
He was
and
the GPS
that's what
man.
I picked up from. Yeah,
He was the
yeah. For
GPS.
me, him.
It
Yeah,
is.
that was
Astronomy, bro.
crucial.
Astronomy is about science. Is Astronomy is basically is pure science. Because if you visit India, if you go to specifically the southern part, you will see the temples. The way temples has been built, the architecture, and our ancestors, the way they have built, they had a huge knowledge about astronomy. They have a huge knowledge about sun, moon, and the planetary actions, how they are moving. Huge is phenomenal. Today, science is trying to depict that, trying to dissect it, how they have done it. There are temples in India, they have built exactly at 7-degree inclination, and the temples had been built at 11-degree latitude, is like the Isha Yoga Center. So I mean, of course they have a huge knowledge, and astrology and astronomy are the branch of the science. In the past, ancestors, they had a huge knowledge. This is not woo woo thing, because most of the time people in the West, they will feel it, looking into, yeah, being skeptic is fine, but this is not woo woo thing. This is science behind of it. The people, those who really know science, even in the West, they have acknowledged them, they have mentioned in their books several references. Yes, and people are doing research. The guy called Graham Hancock, he's not traditional. He's not a traditional. What do you call the archaeologist? But he has spent over 3 decades. He's trying to find out the lost civilization in the world, around the different parts of the world during the last ice age. And he came to India also. He, by the way, his wife is Tamil. She's from Indonesia anyway. So he also came, he also visited, and he said that's the same thing in his book and podcast, everywhere. He came to Joe's show, and he also, in that podcast also, he mentioned about the way, kind of the wisdom the ancient people had about the astronomy and archaeology and the astrology, everything. They used to see everything as it's a divine, the approach is divine's branch, basically, in order to use them. So yeah, I think there was the turning point in your life. Yeah, I'm so happy, I'm so glad that your mom reached out to the guy some way. Sometimes there is a saying, we never saw the grace, but is there, and there are
Hmm.
n number of ways they can, coming in our life, and it's just a matter of time. Are we open, are we receptive, are we open-minded at that time? If we are, then the things will come and hit us. Even in my life, so many things are happening, I can tell you, but I can only tell you there is a grace. There is a grace is beyond my understanding. I don't even want to understand, to be honest, because I do not have the intellect, I do not have the knowledge to understand it. I'm just being grateful under that grace. Things are keeping me. I'm sure 100% similar kind of feelings probably you have. And it's there. It's a kind of lubricant. It's just fixing you, it's just fixing your machines and everything, and just keeping you, giving you smooth momentum. So your acceleration doesn't get, deteriorated in the process. So I think it's there. It's just a matter of time, and matter of commitment, like you said. Are we cultivating that thing or not, and how much we are committed? Involvement needs to be there. Once again, bro,
Right.
it was really really nice, and so informative. And I'm sure there will be many, the incident you have mentioned, there will be really really eye-opening for others. They'll be able to really connect with this thing. And yeah, it also hit me quite a while about the process, your initial process, diagnosis, your mom, astrology, how you came to India. Yeah, I didn't know these things too, so for me it was also new. Yeah, thanks for sharing those things.
Thank you, man. I never knew we were gonna speak about that either, but I'm glad. I was happy to share that as well. And just one thing I want to add is,
Hmm.
if there's anybody who's listening who might be in a similar place, or who might want some, some assistance or some support in any way, I'm happy to have a chat and discuss anything, any way that I can be of service, depending on where people are at in their journeys.
Sure. So how people can find you in the intrawebs, if somebody wants to contact.
So right now I'm off social media,
Hmm.
but if there's anyone that reaches out to you personally and would like, they can reach out to Subal, and you can connect me with them if there's anyone like that.
Okay, guys. So you can directly reach out to me, and I'll probably give his WhatsApp so you can connect with him, and
Yeah,
he's a nice guy. Like you see, he will be 100% if you are willing, and whatever he can, like whatever situation you are in. I'm also talking to my subscriber. She can also you can also reach out to me. I will also give his WhatsApp so you guys can connect. Probably it'll be some way of help. The entire main idea of being running this show and everything is just to making a small difference in everybody's life. This is the entire idea. So yeah, I'm also grateful you came up, bro, and you showed that thing. It is also helping to serve our purpose. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
my pleasure, man. Namaskaram, bro.
No, namaskaram. Take care. We'll see you until next time, and yeah, take care, bro.
You too, man. See ya.